Welcome to Why Not Us podcast. It's your host Ken J. It's Tuesday morning. You already know life of a DJ entertainer. What's going on, Mario?
Hey,
DJ
what's going
Rag
on?
Top, what's good with you?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Hello, everyone.
Facts. How you feeling mentally?
I'm mentally still going strong, feeling strong. How about yourself? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm up here chilling with the babe. So I'm good. I'm enjoying life, trying new foods.
Okay.
Uh yeah, I'm just up here vibing, you know what I mean, in my own zone, enjoying life, man, for real.
Hey, Killer, that's the only way you can do things nowadays. You better enjoy it while you can, because the way things keep coming up, you just never know. So you might as well enjoy every moment we get.
You better know it. You better know it. That's the only way you can look at it. You gotta just enjoy every experience and learn from it and yeah, live for the moment. So
Yeah.
for sure. So tell the people what you talking about today. Let the people know.
Well, today I'm going to talk about because it's about that time of the year where people are starting to book their DJs for next year, for their events. And so what I was going to do is talk about the pricing, how pretty much kind of get a little bit more in detail on how a DJ comes up with their prices. Because one person asked me a question last week is why is the market so different to where you have DJs that charge anywhere from $200 up to $1,600 just to provide DJ services, and everyone is different, but the market kind of gives us an idea of where we set at, where we're kind of like where we're balanced at when we come to our prices. So what I want to do is kind of share like how I do it and how I break down my stuff, and then kind of go into a little bit more detail why it's important that you book your vendors, your venue, your DJ, all your stuff in advance, because it's gonna not let you have it like that to where you can pay money like with no problem. But if you're really wanting to have something, anyone can afford to have it. It's just a matter of how you want to manage your money. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about in detail about how a person can have that dream wedding, that dream birthday party, at whatever it is. But it's just more of taking time out to properly plan things.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and break things down. And first thing I want to do to start off with is a DJ. The different types of DJs that you have out there. You have your basic DJ that's just getting started. You have your club DJs. You kind of like have your event DJs that do weddings all the time. Your wedding DJs. So one of the things I want to sit down and talk about is how they come up with the pricing. Now, for me, my prices are based off of my experience and the equipment that I use to do the event. So I got a little high speed, little PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to share that. Let me get that up in here and running. Okay, slideshow. And I really want, because this is something that a lot of people, um, they don't understand the concept of how DJs come up with their prices, and they in some cases they don't even know what they're paying for. So try and get this thing. Let's see, share screen. There we go. All right. Can you see that?
Let me see. Yeah, I see it. Hold on. I'm um about to go like this. There you go. Hold on. Let me see.
There we go. So pretty much the cost as far as my DJ costs, I got a quick, easy, simple formula to understand on how I come about with my prices. So first thing first is there's two parts to this. The first part is how many hours am I actually going to work during the event. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is that the DJ, or in some cases any vendor, is going to work longer than the time that they're actually charging you for. So what I do is my prices come up to where I know it takes me 2 hours for my basic setup, and then 2 hours for breakdown, and then 4 hours worth of entertainment. That's your regular general event. Most of the time, this is for birthday parties. This is for retirement. These are all your basic common events that you do. Wedding, on the other hand, because a lot of people ask that question, why do you charge more for weddings? Well, weddings is technically it's like anywhere between 11 to 13-hour workday when you do a wedding as a DJ, and that goes back to what type of equipment you're bringing. So that's why the equipment is a factor in the cost as well. So what I did was I took my general package, and then I took my wedding package and I broke it down so people can see it. Now, as a DJ, what a DJ charges per hour is based off their experience. So most DJs that are seasonal, that kind of have been in the business while, they're charging anywhere between $50 to $75 an hour. Now, when I say that, I'm only talking about for their experience. I'm not talking about the equipment and everything else that they bring to the event. It's just more so their experience. So this is pretty much based off of my experience as a DJ and my hourly rate. As like, in other words, this is what I get paid as a DJ, not what goes into the company, but what I get paid. So this is the first factor. The next factor is the amount of equipment. Now, for my basic general event equipment, a breakdown, I mean, for events, for general events, I bring about $15,000 worth of equipment for that event. And so I could easily break this down like little by little by every single piece of equipment. But what I did was I just kind of round to, because some of it might be a little bit more so, but I kind of just gave an idea of how much it costs for the equipment. So for my basic general event, it's $15,000, and then for a wedding, because I have to bring so much additional equipment, it's $20,000 worth of value of equipment. Now, what I do is I take 2% of that equipment, and this is the number that you see that goes back into my company. Now, a lot of people, when you're doing this is a very key factor on how strong you want your business to be. So if I'm getting paid $300 to $400 to go back into my company, that means that I'm bringing a good product for my customers. I'm providing the proper equipment to make sure the event is successful. So if I did, like, let's say, for example, if I was going to go back and use Radio Shack equipment, and again, there's nothing wrong with using Radio Shack equipment, but it's just that the value of the equipment goes down, so then that price goes down. So when I first started off, my prices were lower because I was using cheap equipment. Now I'm using more professional equipment. That price has good, because now to maintain that level of professionalism and that equipment, that pro equipment, you're gonna have to spend more money on it. So I mean, just for example, one speaker system, like with Bose speaker systems, the lowest cost for Bose speaker is about $650. So
wow,
650, but then most of my speaker systems are almost like close to 1,000 to 1,200 easy. So those are all the factors. So this is the breakdown for the equipment. So then you take all that together and you add it together. So like for my general event package, you're looking at $400, which goes to me, and then $300 that goes back into my company to maintain and purchase the equipment that's necessary for the events, to have all those special, like, extra things that they want, like the uplighting, the monogram, the video projection, the DJ services, the video screens. All that stuff comes into this package. Like when I was telling someone before, in order for me to invest into, like, let's say the Code Sparkler systems, that means now I got to charge my customers a little bit more money, because I looked into that, and just the cost, like for example, it's like $40 just to put the Sparkle stuff in each one of those systems. So you're talking about $80 every time I have to use that equipment. Now, not including the fact that those things are $1,000 for two. So you're looking at $1,000 for that for those two pieces of equipment, and then every time I use it, I got to pay $80 just to use it. So that cost will go back into the customer, and that's where the prices will go up based off of the equipment, because that's the only equipment that requires me to have to purchase additional stuff for it. So to me, that's the only reason why I'd have to purchase that CodeSpark equipment, because that's a little kind of high to pay that price. And so, of course, in the future, it probably is going to be a good investment, but that's kind of like what stops me from jumping into things, is if I know that the cost is going to go up a little bit more.
okay.
So So
So if your cost goes like, so say for instance, you had to add more uh equipment to it, right? So you had to add it more equipment to it. So you would basically factor everything in with that with your price too, right?
right. So
Okay.
so when I use a lot of things is like, for example, before I purchase a piece of equipment, I actually have to look at it, do my research, see what it's going to cost to maintain it, and then actually how am I going to put this cost in for the customer. Because everything that I purchase, there's got to be a factor where the customer's got to pay a certain amount into it in order for me to maintain or to get it. And
Yeah.
so, to be $80 for that piece of equipment to be used is quite a bit. Now, buying it, the one-time purchase is not bad. $1,000, that's not bad. But every time I have to use it, that's $80 more.
Got you.
So
Got you.
that is a factor to where now every time somebody wants to use it, I have to charge them $80 extra just to use it. And I mean, and that's something. Well, some companies, yeah, they will want that because it's really worth it because of the effect that it has.
Got you.
So that's something that right now I'm looking at and purchasing that, and I might purchase it for the next month. But that is the factor on that, and then the material is kind of hard to get sometimes too because they did have a backlog on the material. So then if you purchase it, you can't use it, then you're losing money as far as in your company because
Got
that's
you.
that's a bad technically in a way it's a bad investment if the materials are not available.
So how I think it's amazing how you were able to uh show us how everything is broken down, like, you know what I'm saying, like, because a lot of people don't understand why this cost this or why this cost that, but the way you got it set up is like, yo, ABCDEFG, you got
Right.
everything together, and so that's really good for people that doesn't understand. Like, I just learned about this today, so I appreciate you breaking that down for me, because I mean, how many people actually breaking down stuff like that?
Right.
Nobody. So it's
And you're
dope.
right. And that's one of the things that people, if your customer understands what their money is paying for,
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
they'll have no problem paying it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of it's like I don't hide what I do because I think that if I'm more transparent, then that they have more trust in my services and more trust in what I do.
For
And so
sure.
to me, I kind of share that because let me pull it back up because I do want to say one of the things that's different from me in a full blown DJ company. So a full blown DJ company, one of the factors that I don't have to worry about is I don't have to worry about labor
Okay.
because like in most other companies when they have three to five different people working for them,
Mm.
then you have to pay those individuals their salary. So like I know like a lot of people been like I know when I go and do events, everybody says, "Oh, you need to hire somebody to help you." I said, "Yeah, I could hire somebody to help me, but that cost is only what's going to make my prices go up." And so like when you have company big time companies like Five Star Entertainment, Five Star is a full blown company. And so
Mm.
they have employees, so they have to pay their employees, so their prices are going to be higher. So that's one of the things that DJs have to understand is that you have to understand where you stand at when you're doing your pricing. You can't charge five-star prices and it's just you by yourself. You can't
Facts.
justify that. Now,
Facts.
some people like, oh, I bring a lot to the okay, you might bring a lot to the table, but you have to sit down and break it down to your customer. So that's one of those things that I want people to understand is you have to really get a good understanding of where you stand at because then I have people, oh well, you're not charging enough money. Okay, well the average cost in the United States for DJ services is $1,000. So if that's the average of cost for DJ services, now when I say 1,000, that's more so for weddings. Uh,
Okay.
is an average cost throughout the United States is like $1,000. So if you look at my wedding package now, keep in mind this wedding package is the highest package that I have in my inventory. There's one package that's less than this. It's only $800, and that's if everything is at one location. This is
Mm.
pretty much if I have to go set up in two different locations. This is the worst case scenario, and that's why I use my highest package in my and my price listing, because I want to kind of break this down to where people understand that $950, that's $950. That's if I had to set up a total of 2 systems and 2 complete different locations. If I'm in one location, then of course the price goes down. It's only $800. That's the new price. Now it was $700 last year, but it's now $800 because as of yesterday, these are my new prices. So that is something that people have to understand, that when you're looking at prices, then also what are you getting for your price? And that's another thing, is if you're just getting a DJ that's just going to play music, then you pay for what you get. But next, let me show go to my next slide.
Okay.
Because this is one of the things that I try to stress to people, that I'm gonna skip this one, come back to that one here in a minute. Okay, so like here, this is my basic package. Okay, in this basic package, the basic package is only $500. But in that package, you are getting not only DJ service, but you're getting video DJ services. You're getting assistance with planning your event. I'll be the MC for your event. You have 2 video screens, 2 handheld microphones, 4 special light systems that pretty much put on a light and laser show. Then you have your smaller light systems for uplighting. You get a selfie station, and you also get a choice of your Monogram Gobo projector with Monogram. So that's quite a bit for $500. Now, your typical DJ, just to play music, is pretty much starting price is $400. So for $100 more, you're getting a full entertainment package.
So I like that.
And so and then the value of this package, in most cases, this is pretty much like if you was to put this on the market and base it off of market value, this package alone is like an $850 package. So it's kind of like me, I understand the market value, but at the same time, I'm looking at how I could break the price down to where it benefits me and my company. So I'm saving the customers money by doing it all by myself, which, I've been doing it all by myself for 10 years, and I will continue to keep doing it until I can no longer physically do it, and then I have to hire somebody to help and assist me with it. So, but those are things that, again, that's kind of like the breakdown behind the scene of a DJ and the cost. And so sometimes when you see the DJs, they're only charging $200, $300. They're only bringing maybe their controller and 2 speakers.
That's my cousin. What up, cuz?
But that's the going price. And I mean, if you look it up, you Google it, it'll tell you. It actually shows you a chart, and it completely breaks it down, and it shows you that it's crazy to where, like, someone who's in Hawaii, for example, the basic package for a DJ to show up and play for 4 hours in Hawaii is $1,100.
Sheesh.
And we're not even talking about a wedding. We're just talking about showing up and DJing for a birthday party is $1,100. In California, the going price for 4 hours for a DJ to show up is roughly about $1,500 for 4 hours.
Jeez.
So
is it because of the cost of living? That's why it's higher.
It's like, and you have a higher cost of living, the higher your price. You're going to charge higher the DJs charge for their pricing, and especially those that are professional about what they do. They're going to charge a little bit more based off of the actual equipment maintenance and everything that they have to pay for. And see, the other thing that I didn't really talk about in here on that cost is operational costs. Now, when I say that money goes back into the company, like one event covers my operational costs for the entire month, because my operational cost is only $300 a month. So most companies, like I said, go back to your big companies, their operation cost is going to cost a lot more, because let's say if they have vehicles, they have personnel, they have people they have to handle, they have special equipment handling, to where they have to use forklifts to download, upload stuff. So their operational cost for their business is going to be a lot higher. And that's where you take someone like me. I'm working from home. I have my all I have is a trailer. You know, that operational cost is lower because I don't have to pay all that extra money for insurance. I don't have to pay that money for laborers. I don't have to pay for all this additional equipment maintenance. So it's kind of like you can see where everything. If you actually like lay it down line by line, you can see where operational costs can be very expensive for a business. So, but if you're like me, working from home, have my little office, and I'm able to do everything digital, I'm able to save money. And by me saving money for my company, I'm saving the customer money for when they have to pay for the pack, pay for their events, pay for the DJ services.
For sure, for sure, for sure. But that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? You get
Right.
in, you a good DJ, and you know the people always showing love, and they love you. You know what I mean? Your DJ and love your energy and what you bringing. You know, so that's everything. You feel what I'm saying? They
Right.
always showing love to you. Like they always giving you 5 stars. So that says everything about you.
And that's one of the things that I had this. This is funny. I had this debate. I'm gonna say debate, as I wasn't really an argument. I had this debate with this DJ from Hawaii, and that's why I say that's why I kind of like I use Hawaii because we're having this hardcore debate, and it's like he was upset because he feels like I'm just giving away my services. I'm not charging the right rate. And I said, well, I'm in North Carolina, you're in Hawaii. So the pricing is going to be different. And so, but then when I go in and look up his information, so now I call him Mr. 3.9. Okay, he's been in business longer than me. It only has 7 reviews under his brand. Now, how is it that you've been in business for almost 20 years or more and you only have 7 reviews? And he said, "Oh, it's not about you," but yeah, technically it is.
Yeah, because
Because
people
you're
need to
trying to
know.
you're trying to show people what you're all about. So then I go back and I look and I read his reviews, and he's like, "Oh, you have too much interaction with your customers." Okay, what's wrong with that? Why would I not want to know who my customers are? Why would I not want to get more involved with what my customer's vision is? So, like with him, what he's used to working with these different companies that they hire you online, and you really don't get a chance to meet the customer until the day of their event. So his customer service, of course, and it reflects in his 7 reviews, 3.9, and you only have 7 reviews, so that says a lot about your company, and you've been open for 20 years. So me, I get more involved with my customers. I look at to where I'm going to provide a product that I would want to buy, that I would want to pay for. If I don't want to pay for it, how can I convince somebody else to pay for it?
Facts.
So that's why I set everything up, and then I want to treat my customers the way I want to be treated. So when I do that extra, go to that extra mile, do those extra things to make sure they're always planning. So like when I tell people I help with your planning, okay, I give planning forms, I give assistance, I give guidance on you can make things better. If you do something, let's say you're going to do something I think is going to cause impact on your event to where it's going to be a negative impact, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to just step back and let you fall on your face. I've been doing this for quite some time to where I have the experience to where I can give you some knowledge or some insight on how things will turn out if you do it that way.
Facts.
And so that's where, as a DJ, um, you go through the process of you really try to make sure you're the right DJ for that customer. Because I tell them, like, I have customers, oh, I want to turn my event, my wedding into a club scene for 8 hours. Okay, I'm not the right DJ for you. Point blank. I'm just gonna be. I'm be honest, and that's one of the things that if you're honest, and see, this is one of the things I tell people: if you're honest with me, and you have a situation, I will work with you. I remember we had one time where we had a couple, they got scammed out of their house and out of all their money, and they were supposed to have a wedding. So because of their situation, they showed us a police report. Myself, the venue, and a couple of vendors, we did it for free because we were like that situation. You know, to get scammed out of your own home in your own money, all your money, that was a bad situation for them. So
Was they able to get their stuff back?
well, it was going to take a long period of time. So the time that they were working on it, it was going to be one of those things to where it was going to be like a 30 to 60 day wait for everything to work itself out. So because of those circumstances, and then she was pregnant. She was 3 months pregnant at the time too. So it's kind of like it was like a real bad situation for them. So myself, the venue at that time it was at the Excelente, and we all came together and we worked it out to where they were able to get their services for free.
That's a blessing in itself. Good morning, cuz. How you feeling? Like you're talking to my cousin.
Oh,
She said
okay.
good morning.
But that's something that you really that's one of those things that people have to understand is that it's like you if you're all about taking care of people, if you have a
Mm-hmm.
business which you're interacting with people, you have to be a people person. You can't be cold-blooded like corporate world doesn't care. They don't care about all they focus on is making money. So me, I'm a little bit more into working with people, making sure that things work out the way they want it to work out.
For sure, for sure.
So, but then, so that see, that's just so that's all the behind the scenes stuff for the cost for a DJ and pretty much how some DJs. Now, again, not all DJs go like because you have some DJs that are part time DJs and they just do it for extra money. There is no investment back into their equipment or anything like that. They're just doing it as a side gig. And so I'm a full time DJ, so I have to take all that in consideration on how I'm going to invest back into my company, and that's how I break it down to that. So, but so now I'm going to switch it up and then talk about like the benefits it is to when you book your DJ, your venues, your vendors in advance. You have a spread. Um, Good morning, Dwayne. Um,
What's up, Dwayne?
you have a spread time of when you can pay it back. And I tell people it's critical to where you book your stuff in advance because you're looking at okay, do I want to pay all this money at one time or do I want to break it down to monthly prices? And so what
Right.
I did was I actually put this chart together, or I should say slide together, to kind of reflect that. And one of the things that people need to understand is that if you do it right, you're not going to be stressed about finance when it comes to doing your event.
Yes, you're right.
So here, and like yeah, I took the same two packages that I've been using so far,
Okay.
and I broke those down to where if you book me in advance, let's say you book me 12 months in advance, like right now, my Saturdays for 2023 are I think I'm down to maybe 6 Saturdays
I
now
love it.
that
I
are
love it, man. I'm gonna probably need you in 2026, but
open. So you look, you'll be able to book it way in advance.
yeah, because they gonna be already booked. They
Mhm.
gonna book about. They not playing Mario.
No, they're not.
They not playing, and the fact that, bruh, we ain't even done with this year, and you almost booked for 2023.
That's
That
been going
says
like
a
that.
lot about you.
I mean, it's been going strong like that for technically like the last 4 years, and then of
That's a
course
blessing.
COVID kind of threw things off a little bit, but it still has been going strong to where I'm booking all my Saturdays like the year prior. Every now and then I might go into a year that might be like 1 or 2 Saturdays still open, but I'm booking a year prior, and it benefits the customer to book in advance because guess what? You're getting it at a cheaper price versus if you book the same year. You book the same year, most likely what happens is most companies, most in the entertainment, so their prices change either quarterly or every biannually or yearly to where their prices change. Like my prices this year alone, I've had two price changes in this year, and so I won't have another price change until next year. So this was technically the last one, and then after this come next year, then the price will change again. So that's just something where if you actually book the year prior, you're going to get the services a little bit cheaper than booking the same year. And that's something that I stress to people that if you pay attention to the marketing and if you look at what people are doing on the price changes, you can see how it changes every year. Can you see that slide up?
Okay, I see it now.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's say the general package. If you're doing let's say you're doing your 50th birthday party and you book it a year in advance, all right, you will only have to pay $100 deposit because it's $700 total. So you pay your $100 deposit, and then you can pay $50 for 12 months, and your entire thing is paid off. So same thing if you go with the biggest package that I have, which is the 950. then if you're paying, you put $100 deposit and you only pay $71 a month.
That's good.
That's those. So those prices are reasonable. Now keep in mind that's just the DJ. So you also got to look at, okay, you gotta get a venue, you gotta get
Mm-hmm.
caterer, you gotta get decorator. So that price, of course, of how you go about doing things, you can kind of like financially establish a good plan to make sure your event is paid in full before that time comes.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, a lot of people don't have payment plans. Probably they probably want everything. Maybe they probably don't even want $100 deposit. They might want half of what it costs. They might want a $300 deposit for the first package, and maybe like a $400 deposit for the second package.
Right.
So the fact that of course you put it back in your company, but you making sure the customers are able to do it too. So that says a lot. Like, I love that because it's about the people.
Right. And I'm trying to make it to where it's like anyone can afford to hire me. I don't try to
Yeah.
make it to where I'm not trying to target to where only the rich people do it. I'm not trying to get it to where the low people or the middle class. I'm just trying to get it to where anyone who wants to have an event can hire me. And that's just making, and then in some cases I can even work with people to where we can come up with a different way of doing things. If it comes down to, if they, let's say if they want to reduce, there's other packages available to where they can customize their package to meet their budget.
For sure. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Like I told you, we talked about it earlier about, like, I want to learn about just pricing in general. Like, what I mean? When I start doing I do, we had a conversation, like, make sure that I don't hit people in the head, in their heads. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna still make sure that my company is still thriving.
Right. And that's the thing is that you have to have growth in your company. And you can't just do it to where you're barely making it, because
Mm,
if something unexpected happens, it can throw your whole company off. So like with me, what I do is I try to establish a method and a way to where I can take care of the customer and still be successful with my business, and everybody comes out as a winner. And it's like, can I charge people more money? Yes, there's a lot of room there to where if I really want to take that 2% and let's say boost it to 5% for equipment, I could. And that's pretty much what most DJs are probably doing, is about between 5 to 7%. They're charging for their equipment usage just to make up for, like, especially if you have multiple DJs in your company. See, me is just me. I'm one DJ. I provide one service per day. So with another DJ company, they might have 5 DJs. So that means they're going to need a lot more equipment. So that percentage is going to go up.
for sure, for sure.
So, but that's just something to where if a person, and that's just the behind the scenes of what, like how a DJ charges their prices. Some DJs, like I said again, it's just more so of making extra money on the side. But like most of us who are full time, it is like we all those factors come into place to where we have to. And as a business, you don't take the money that you make and pocket. You take the money and you divide it, like you like. So in other words, I have to pay myself from my company. So when I do an event, okay, my company is paying me separate. I'm not just taking all the money and put it in my pocket.
Got you.
So then a percentage of it, it's like, so the company keeps its part for the maintaining of the equipment, and then I get my part for me providing my services as a DJ.
Got you. I understand. But
So
but the company is you.
right,
But you, but
you
you.
got to treat it like, you got to treat it like it's an actual company.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Let them know, Mario.
But that's just where, like, if you're not going to treat your company like it's, and that's why I say if you're just doing it as a DJ and you're just making money on the side as a hustle, then that's what it is. But for me, here it is. February, actually, believe it or not, February of next year will be 10 years. Official. Unofficial will be 11, but official will be 10, because what I did was I started off first before I went legit. So I did 1 year of being unlegit, and then went Then the very next year I went legit. So it's technically officially it'll be 10 years come February.
Let's go. Let's
So
let's go, DJ Rag Top. Freaking.
and so the thing is, and then when you sit back and I did my numbers, for 10 years I've been in business, and this is like, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing or bad thing, but I was looking at the numbers and I've like profit wise, I made 500,000 in 10 years. So that is something to where
What you
after,
mean? That's a good thing. Well, that's good.
well, it's a good thing, but it's one of those things to where I know more companies, other companies, it's like they're saying I should be making more.
But you in your own lane. They
Right.
can't tell you. Nope.
But see,
Uh-uh.
that's why I say when you see me, like me, I don't compete with other people. I only compete
It's
with myself.
woo.
So I
Put
know
it
it.
on the shirt.
So it's like I know the direction on how I want my company to go because like what some people do is you charge more, you get burnt out quicker, or you oversell your place where no one won't buy you or use you, your product or your services. So that's something to where people, if you really want to maintain, you have to maintain like a cruise control is, like what some people say, if you're speeding to get to your destination, you take a higher risk of something bad happening. But if
Mm-hmm.
you put that mug on cruise control at 65 miles per hour, the speed limit, you're going to most likely get there safely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like how I look at it and how I break it down.
Yeah, cause you just gotta basically just take your time. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like you just gotta take your time, cause that's a perfect example. Like with life,
right.
sometimes you gotta sit still. You know what I'm saying? But you still going. But you just gotta be. You can't worry about everything. You just gotta do what you do. Continue to build and build and build and build and build. Make sure your foundation good. And yeah, you've been doing it for 10 years, and you already made $500,000 in profit. That's a blessing in itself.
And I think that's where, if you're like with me, the strategy that I came up with was it was never to compete with the pricing of other companies. It was more so of to, I always had room to grow, and I always had room to where if I wanted to raise my prices, I could, and it still wouldn't hurt the customer's pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So I just came where is a balance to where it works for me, it works for my company, and it benefits the customer, and they're satisfied with the services that they get. So you find that balance, and sometimes it's hard to find that balance, but once you find it, you have to maintain it and then keep it, and then you let it grow. And as you grow, your customers, no matter what you're charging, will follow you because they see you have a good product, you have great
Mm-hmm.
services, and that's how you build your customer base. Is you have to have people that trust what you do and actually can see that you're really taking care of your customers. So when, and that's what I said, when Mr. 3.9 decided that he wanted to uh, he wanted to talk about like, well, reviews is not important. That's like, no, reviews are important because that's what people can see how you take care of your customers. If every time I do an event and my customers are completely satisfied, I mean, that shows that I have a good product. I have great services. But if I see that every time I look at your reviews and your brides are not happy with your services, they were disappointed because you talked a good game, and then when came time for you to step up, you kind of sat down. So you really want to bring and show evidence that your services and your product is good, and that's why reviews are important.
I totally agree. I totally agree, man. I totally agree with everything you saying for real. Um, like I told you earlier, I just like the way that you break things down and how you educate us on about for real customer service and your prices and things that a lot of people wouldn't do. So it's like you learn a lot from everything. So I know if I want to get you as a DJ for my wedding, I already know what I have to do, and I already know what to look forward to, and I'll be able to afford it because you're setting it up in a way that that I'll be able to afford it. So that's everything. So
Right.
I appreciate you always educating us, and yeah, y'all gotta hit them up, man. I mean, I might have to hit him up. If 2023, he only got 6 Saturdays left.
Right. And that's right. So right now, because I do have an appointment today.
He
So
only got about 5
right.
left.
So if the couple I have an appointment with,
Five.
if they book, because I think their event is for March, they're trying to book March to. Actually, no, it's because their event's on a Sunday. So yeah, so it'll still be 6. So they're trying to book me for a Sunday for March the 4th. So if they after I give their presentation, if they hire me, then hey, then that's another event for 2023. But yeah, my Saturdays are still that one. Technically, that Saturday is still be open because they're doing theirs on a Sunday.
Man, they most definitely are gonna hire you. It's no doubt in my mind that you already. Man, listen. I get excited just knowing that it's not even 2023 yet, Mario, and you almost sold out for every Saturday.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
anything's possible.
and the thing is, that goes back to
Like I love
marketing,
it.
marketing, 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 marketing. And I tell people this all the time and that's something we probably need to check on after we get done with this we'll talk about that later. But
Okay.
about what we talked about before about the show, uh,
Yeah.
we gotta check it out. But like when you go through and you building you're doing good marketing, word of mouth is always the best method. But you take that word of mouth and you multiply it by your Google business page, your Facebook business
Mm-hmm.
page, a
Mm-hmm.
website. As you go through and you do all those things, um, you will get um, okay, that just popped. Okay, you pretty much you'll gain more. Like for example, I mean, I was just looking at something this morning before I came on the show, and let me just pull this up because this is something that it's better to show people versus talk about it, because once they see what you're talking about, they will understand how everything comes together and works. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the screen, and I know you've seen this before, but I want to show somebody when you're doing good marketing, your numbers, your media will reflect. So, okay, let me get this on the screen here. Okay, let's see. This is August. No, I'm sorry. This is July. Well, it was July. Okay. Okay, let's see. Did I hit the right button? Nope. There we go. All right. So here, can you see that? You still there?
I'm still here. It's up here.
Okay.
You see it? Yeah, I'm still
Okay.
here. I'm
All
still
right. So
here.
no, the screen there it is. My screen went kind of weird. So this is just my Google business page. Okay. And my Google's business page, this is just how people are interacting with my social media. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people who view my page. Now, look at the number. Now, it says I was down, but 1,450 people view my page in 1 month.
Whew.
1 month. Now, if you can get that many people, and so like here, interaction just I'm sorry, this is just the view, but business interaction. I interacted with 109 people for the month of July.
That's amazing.
So that's where your market is. Like if you're fishing, if you're going to go fishing and you go fishing in let's say a lake, a pond, ocean, whatever you want to go, like when you want to use as a scenario, and you have a chance of catching, let's say I have people who look at my page, 1,450 people, but out of that 1,450 people, I get 109 that I actually interact with. So here you're talking about, okay, going to a lake that has 1,450 fish. and out of that 1,450 fish, I catch 109 of them. So
I'm good on the fish. Yeah.
that says a lot. Now,
Yeah.
will I be able to keep the fish? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But that's just a way of just kind of like making a comparison of your numbers. So here, and this is just again, this is just the business. This is just a Google business page. I'm not even talking about my Facebook page. So like here, if you look here, first thing you see is I got 2,813 views
This
for the month
month.
of July. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So that's one of the things I tell people. Like, if you're actually marketing yourself correctly and you're putting it together to where people can see you, like if like right now, if you go to my Facebook page, what do you see? You're constantly seeing me post stuff about my business. You're constantly seeing
Mm-hmm.
the aftermath, the pictures, the video clips of how
Mm-hmm.
people are enjoying themselves, how they're having a good time. The pictures is highlighting how me, the venue, the decorator, the caterer, the cake designer, how it all comes together to make a perfect event. So what I'm doing is I'm not only highlighting what I'm doing, highlight what I'm doing. I'm highlighting what we do as a team, and so it reflects me as a DJ, but also it reflects me as a team player when it comes to work with the events.
For sure. But yeah, we most definitely, you already know, shoot, we'll most definitely, because this right here, the Google, your Google business, like I said, that's where it's at, though, understanding. And, I learned a lot from you, and I'm glad that, I could talk to you, and, man, you always look out for me. So I'm grateful for that, man. For real.
But that's one of the things that showing people how to build your own brand, and this is one of the things about Mister 3.9. Mister 3.9, and there's nothing again. What I'm about to say is nothing wrong, but when you have to rely on another company for your
Mm-hmm.
success,
Mm.
you're setting yourself up for failure. There's a difference to where if you can stand up on your own 2 feet with your brand and you can use another company as well, there's nothing wrong with that. But if your primary customer base is coming from another company, that means that you can't stand on your own 2 feet, marketing wise. So when people use the Knot Wedding Wire, they're pretty much they're building that company up, but they're not building up their own brand. So that's one of those things where I don't really get involved with those companies. When I first started, I had started a profile with them, but then after I saw that I had to work harder, I said, you know what, let me break away and let me have my own brand. Let me stand on my own, because then I control the marketing. When you're in an environment where somebody else is controlling the marketing, you put yourself at a disadvantage.
Mm.
So, and then because of Mr. 3.9, when I looked him up and I saw his main source of his customer base was coming from, I think it was Wedding Wire, whatever it's called now. I think it's a different name for it, but it,
So basically, he wasn't really having. Um, Basically, people weren't really looking for him.
right.
They had to go through a different company to find him. Like, if that makes sense, like the company, I guess he paying the company for people to send people to him.
Well, no, it is, yeah, because Wedding Wire is it's a specialized company that focuses on that market that for event services, and so it's like you're gonna have to go through them and you have to follow their guidelines, their rules in order to get their customers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the idea is the company itself, Wedding Wire, is brand. It stands on its own, and it's designed for customers to able to go into the market. Like, let's say, for example, if you're going to Walmart, you have a variety of different things you can fit. So, like, Wedding Wire is almost like the Walmart for event services. So you're able to go in there and you're able to pick and choose all your different ones or different things that are available. So, like, if you go into Walmart, you have a variety of different methods of shoes you can purchase, or you have a right. So you're kind of like with the DJ services, you have all these DJs in this one area, to where they're under Wedding Wire. Now, some
Oh,
DJs they really need that because they suck at marketing, or they don't have time to market, or they don't have the money to pay into marketing, which is not expensive. But if you don't have the time, then of course it becomes expensive.
for sure, for sure. Of course, yeah, I agree with that. You know what I mean? But I just want to build my own brand from the ground up.
Right.
Just do my own thing, and just learn on my own and just go my own, just be on cruise control. I don't like and just learn. You feel me? So
Right. And see, there are a lot of things. A lot of people don't know that if you don't have the time, you're going to spend the money. And when
mm,
you spend the money, you have to know what you're buying. And
facts.
so, like a lot of people, and this is what I've learned, is that a lot of people pay for services that are free,
Ooh.
and they don't know because they don't have the time to research it. Just like Google Business page is free, but when you go to some of these marketing companies, oh yeah, they have a list of things that they're going to do for you, but technically the service itself is free, but it takes time to build it, so they're charging you for their time. So
Yeah.
what hurts a person that's an entrepreneur or a person that owns his own company is time management. And some
Time
people
management.
time management because some people just don't have the time to take out to do marketing. They have a business to where is high, is very high demanding, to where they don't take time out to do the marketing because marketing. If you have a good strategy, like me, I do my events on the weekend. And between Sunday and Monday, I'm posting everything about that event to show pictures, video, and it's a time thing. I don't like to sit on stuff because timing is important. Pictures mean nothing a week, 2 weeks later. So it's normally if you have a good marketing strategy and you do an event, you want to show results of that event within 24 to 40 hours. It's a quick turnaround, and and don't get me wrong, it's some heavy duty time management to get maintained. But that's how you have to keep your thing rolling to where you put a product out there, you provide services, you put out the results of those services, you show your product, you highlight, you talk about your product, you highlight your product, you present your product, and then you show the results of your product. And by you doing that within a timely manner, it catches people's attention to where, hey, let me go check this out. Oh, let me go see what's going on. Oh, dang, he had the people on the dance floor the entire night. See, those are things that are critical and important. Um, as a DJ, is you want to highlight what you're capable of. If you're a decorator, you want to have show pictures of your decoration. If you're a venue, you want to show people how your venue works with different types of scenarios or different type of events. So those are all marketing strategies that a lot of people just don't take time to do. Pictures say a million words. So the more pictures you provide, the actual platforms that are picture orientated. You have your Google business page, you have your Facebook page, you have your website, you have Instagram, you have TikTok. Those are all the major platforms. But then you also have to understand Facebook is for older people. Instagram is more so, it's more in between old and young. TikTok is majority of your younger crowd. So you got to know your platform. Google is the number one search engine in the world. So using all those different platforms and wrap them all up into a good marketing strategy, you're constantly have people looking at you. I mean, like I said, I'm looking at 14, roughly about 1,400 people looking at my services. And out of that 1,400, I'm going to book somebody.
Of course, you gonna book a lot of people.
If I'm available. that's the that's the
They're
that
gonna have to just hit you up in 2024
right.
because
So
the way it's looking, them Saturdays about to be booked.
yeah. And so then I'll go to Sundays and Fridays, which the thing is, like, if I base
I
my
love you though.
strategy is normally just based on my Saturdays. I don't I don't look at Fridays, I don't look at Sundays, I don't look at Mondays. my primary money making day is Saturday. So I based everything off of Saturday. So if I'm able to book an event for a Sunday or a Friday, that's extra going into what my like my let's say my projected um what's the proper word for it, my projected um
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's a projected projected profit.
Got you.
So my projected profit is based off of my
Saturdays.
Saturdays. So anything extra, like if I do an event on in the middle of the week or like in December, I'm able to make a lot in December because I'm being doing events during the week. Christmas parties on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. So I'm able to make a lot in December because that's like the final, like you're closing out the year, and then that's the where a lot of days I don't count on my projected profit, and I'm able to make more money.
That's everything. So Mario, what advice? Because I always say this. What advice would you give someone that wants to work for themselves? Really don't understand how the business go, but they have a vision. But they learning how to do everything on their own. It's gonna be some hiccups.
Right.
So, what advice would you give that individual? That has a vision, that has the vision, just had the time and everything to make everything work. So, and they might not really have the funds. So,
Well,
what would you tell them?
the thing is, the biggest thing is to draw a blueprint of their success. And when I say that, it's like, if, let's say you come up with an idea of what you want to do as your own boss, your own entrepreneur, and you lay out a blueprint. You might not have the money, but that blueprint is going to lay out how you're going to get that money.
Got you.
So, like when I first started my business, I made a transition from working government contracting to where I was able to cash in my 401k. That 401k, I think I got was like $5,600 for that 401k when I cashed it in. So I took that money and I was able to invest in all the right equipment. That was one of the things I had when I first started, I had the basic Radio Shack cheap equipment that I was using as a part-time DJ, which I was able to get by using that equipment. But then I knew that if I'm going to do this on a normal basis, and I'm going to be doing this like on a weekly basis, I need better equipment because wear and tear on something cheap will go away if you're doing it weekly. It will break down quick, faster. So I had to come up with, okay, get the right equipment. What equipment is critical for me to establish my success to get to the next level, or to the next link, or the next whatever it is that I laid out in the blueprint. And you have to build to it. Which ways are you going to purchase equipment? It's just like I was telling someone before, the way I built my company was through zzsounds.com. And with zzsounds.com, it is a website, or I should say a company out of New Jersey, that allows you to get the equipment and pay monthly prices on it without no interest.
That's
And
good.
that's a good method because anytime you have to take out a loan or credit, that's interest. You're paying someone extra money to run your business. So with ZZ Sound as a DJ company, I'm able to get all the right equipment, and as I am making money, I'm able to pay on the equipment. So that's how I came up with my budget of, okay, equipment is going to be $300. So as long as I'm able to make $300 worth of payments towards ZZ Sounds, I'm good. So like now I don't need ZZ Sounds as much just because I have all the right equipment now. So now I'm going to ZZ Sounds for one piece of equipment too, but now I'm able to pay all up front. I don't have to worry about doing monthly because now I put my actual company in a position so I can purchase the equipment right out. And that's why I say you don't have to have all the money up front. You just have to come up with a plan on how you're going to manage it and make it work for you for what you got.
I like that because you can
There's
make it do what it do.
right, and there's so many different programs out there for small business owners, entrepreneurs. There's so many different methods and ways on how you can get the money that you need to start up to where you're not having to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars or thousands and thousands of dollars to get yourself established.
For sure. Y'all know every Tuesday we come up here, and Mario just inform us. He put us on, let us know, what is like of a life of a DJ entertainer. Like I said, I appreciate you just breaking things down, and I appreciate you just being nice and kind to me. And yeah, thank you for always just being here. So I appreciate your consistency with me. And thank you. And I learn from you, and you always helping me. So I gotta let everybody know I appreciate you. So
Well,
I
thank
really
you.
do.
And I appreciate you because, like I said, with this, I'm able to share. I mean, anytime I'm on a platform where I can share information, share knowledge, it's always a great thing. So I'm always thankful for you because you provided this platform for us to get. I mean, not just me, but for other people to get out here and share information with any. I mean, all different parts of life, from business owning, from how you do things on a daily basis, from just living. And that's what I said. When you have a platform where you can put positive energy back out there, it's always a great thing.
For sure, man. We'll be back next Tuesday, for sure. Tell them how they can get in contact with you, and I mean they trying to book you for the rest of the five Saturdays. Like how can they get in contact with you? Let them know.
I'd say the best way to get it is you just go to Google, type in that DC2DW, and all my information comes up. It has, like I said, you can contact me easy 910-261-1518. Email, uh, real simple, dc2dw.ceo@outlook.com. And like I said, if you go to my website, any of my social media, it shows you a quick way of how to get in contact with me.
And for your email is dcdw
No,
dot.
DC is DC2, the number two, DW.CEO
Okay.
at Outlook.com.
CEO. I'm about to put this in the comments. So, and DC, because I like people to know, like, yeah, go ahead and hit them up.
Yeah, but that's one of, like I said, that's just my way of just sharing, because like I said, some of these DJs they don't know there's an actual formula out there to how they can better themselves and get better equipment by charging the right price.
For sure, that's what it's about. And you putting people on game, and you letting people know the people that want to know, they hear. The people that don't want to know, it ain't for them. So that's the energy right there. So once again, it's Why Not Us podcast. Remember to always believe in yourself. Don't sleep on you. Continue to pour into you. Your dream is valid. Your vision is valid. Don't let people project their fears on you. You stay true to you, and you'll make it. So once again, this is Why Not Us podcast, and we out.
All right.